poop
You guys,
zooms
I don't
with.
want to. I'm not ready to do this. We've taken.
I know, it's like, I don't want it to be done. I like this book a lot.
Yeah, I like this book more than I like Eddie.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Chris has not kicked Eddie from the call once yet today.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God, I forgot that's my thing. I can do it. No, I'm just kidding.
In 1996, Scholastic began publishing Animorphs. Over the next 6 years, Katherine Applegate and her husband, Michael Grant, under the pseudonym K.A. Applegate, produced 54 main series books, several spin-offs, and inspired a TV series, graphic novels, and a cult following. We can't tell you where we live. We can't even tell you our last names. But we can tell you our thoughts and feelings on this series, book by book. I'm Miranda.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Chris.
And we are... The Anidorks. These may be kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
You guys, did you read that episode, the Mars Volta article Eddie sent me? We have to talk about this on the air.
I did read the article, yeah.
I am elated. I am so happy about it. The whole Omar Jeremy Michael Ward thing is really adorable and awesome.
That makes so much sense to me too.
It makes
that
so much
checks
sense.
out everything that I don't know. There's when he was finishing the movie and everything that they were working on together, and he was like, I have to finish this. I was like, just something. I was like, it clicked into place. You know what I mean?
What's the movie?
They made so much art together.
Yeah.
And and you're right. There were so many projects that he finished just after the posthumously on Jeremy's behalf and stuff. But that's the thing. That's the thing is the lore goes really, really deep. And because of how much Omar puts out material, there's very little guessing what Omar's been up to. Yes, he never went on the record and said stuff, but it's you can see where his obsession lies and who he's with at a given time period of working with folks or whatever.
And I really respect and love that he was still no, I still don't want to put a label on my sexuality.
It's very his generation. Yeah. It was very cute. It's so funny though. I just can't believe that.
Finding out that I knew that Scientology was what drove a wedge between them largely.
For how long?
Almost a decade?
A while, yeah.
Well, no. Sorry. The Mars Volta were not active for a decade. They start doing At the Drive-In reunion things in 2016, 2017. So Cedric and Omar are somewhat on the mend around then, and that's when they do Anti-Mosque. The band.
And he had already
they
left
were apart
Scientology at that point too, and that's how they sort of got to mend the.
Yeah, so they were only not talking or not in contact for at most a 4-year period, but that's still
and Cedric
really
was
long.
not part of Scientology for super long.
But it is what broke up the band.
I don't know the timeline or anything, so yeah, of the Scientology stuff or of the Mars Volta, really. So
totally. But I just want to make sure that this makes it into the episode.
Yeah, at least some
we
of
have
it.
to acknowledge this.
Deloused? Yeah, that's one.
Francis
that's number
the
one.
Mute.
2001, 2004?
I don't know years.
Amputexture?
2006, maybe 2005.
Am I still correct?
You're still right.
You're in order so far. You're doing great. Next
The Ouija board one?
Yeah, you got it. Bedlam, yeah.
I didn't know to call it the Ouija board one.
Oh,
okay.
it's about a soothsayer that they found.
Oh,
that was
yeah, I
haunted
guess it
that
is. Yeah.
I've been trying to get a haunted Ouija board ever since I heard about it.
If you can get the next two, I will be so impressed because they were not popular albums.
Oh, the stupid one about I will follow you through the dark or whatever. That's Death Cab.
Death Cab for Cutie.
But they have a song that I really didn't like. The first song on the one album. I don't know the next two.
Since we've been wrong is what you're talking.
Since we've been wrong.
No, it's not that. What are the other two? I don't know.
And that's off Octahedron.
Octahedron is the next one.
And
then the last one, or the end of the initial run was Nocturnicate.
And I really didn't listen to Nocturnicate.
What's the first song on
like
Nocturnicate?
The Whip Hand, I think. I am a landmine. I am a landmine. It's
that
really
kind
great.
of sounds like
the
Blood Brothers.
Yeah. I'm going to see the Blood Brothers soon.
Really? You're also going to see Adrian Lenker with me next week. Hope you
It's
didn't forget.
true, on Tuesday. I did not forget. All right.
Okay.
And then the Mars Volta self-titled and acoustic album. They're amazing. Love them.
Oh, they have an album this year, don't they?
They had one in
last year.
They had one in
they
like
had a new one
2022 and 2024. I don't know. Was 2023? I don't know. Anyway, all right. So here we go into my favorite book series, the Mars Volta Morphs.
Cedric is such a Marco.
Maybe we need to pit Animorphs versus Mars Volta in our next Survivor.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're like talking to this niche audience. Like,
As if we haven't already identified a very specific subset of people. Like,
oh my god. Okay, so chapter 20.
Chapter
I'll read
20. Yeah,
All
go
right,
for it.
you
Go
read
for
it,
it.
Ed.
should we do it quick? I mean, they're sieging the mansion.
Yeah, so Jake went, acquired a rhinomorph, and we're coming back to get into Joe Bob Window's house because Rachel and Axe are in there and they're running out of time. They're hitting the 2-hour window and they're still in morph, most likely, we assume.
Yep.
We hope. Otherwise,
And
there's no
Fenestre
reason to...
is bad, but we don't actually know he's bad.
We don't.
Do we?
We don't
We know he
anything
shot our
right now.
friends.
Yeah, we know
he
we
didn't
shot our friends.
himself shoot.
No, but we
The
paid
friends.
people to shoot our friends.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Chapter 20. Jake
Go.
is a rhino. He has trouble seeing in this morph, so the gang guides him through a gate, then a chain link fence as they siege Joe Bob Fenestre's mansion.
Meanwhile,
Alarms-
there was an open door the entire time.
Yeah. And I should be clear, he smashed through the gate, then smashed through the chain
Like
link
the
fence.
Kool-Aid Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alarms sound as dogs try to attack Jake, and armed guards open fire on him, but nothing phases his rhino morph. He's a cross between a tank and a battering ram, eventually even smashing through the wall of Fenestre's house. They've made it inside the mansion just as Tobias announces that they're out of time. About 2 hours have passed, and Rachel is still in her morph.
I just want to take this opportunity to say, Grunka lunka dunka dee darmed guards. Sorry.
Is that Willy Wonka?
It's Futurama.
And it's like they keep asking
It's a Willy
questions.
Wonka. Yeah.
And so it's like, Dunka lunka junkin din dee and you should not ask about the secret ingredient. Why
What
are there
about all
armed
those
guards,
armed guards over there?
Grunka lunka dunka dee darmed guards. Okay.
Okay, we get it. Yeah. This chapter is classic. Like, they're trying to keep it in this like zany cartoon kind of energy.
But
like,
people
they
are
go
dead.
Right, people are dying left and right. Many a hound barked its last bark.
No,
in this,
okay, keep going, but I have a point on that.
Well, so Fenestre, like Mr. Burns, has a penchant for goons and hounds, as we'll see in this book.
The gooner.
Yeah. I just meant hired goons.
That's why he has the private room.
You can't say that on the radio.
So there's a man that he runs into and he says, let's just say that particular man won't be sitting down for a long, long time. And I don't know if that means he's dead or if that he rammed his horn up his ass.
I think it is the latter.
Yeah.
Unless he is doing something bizarrely macabre and saying one does not sit in a coffin.
Right.
Could be
you
that.
lie down.
Right.
But
now, I do have it in my will that I would like a sitting coffin.
Open, tilted casket.
Tilted casket.
Like a chaise
sitting,
lounge.
legs crossed, a chaise lounge, legs crossed, head and arm back. Is the expression I'll be making.
Yes, I know you're going to have to sew my fingers to my head. Do you think I care?
You'll need to get grapes that don't rot, that you'll be feeding to me.
Well, so we're going to get later, I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but we're going to get Yeerk cannibalism and possibly
kind of
spoilers. Way ahead.
Way ahead.
Okay,
our audience signed on to this episode in good faith that we wouldn't spoil anything. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Eddie.
Yes, we're gonna get your cannibalism and possibly serial killing. It's not really clear. We'll talk about that when we get there.
We'll talk about that.
It's dark.
I think it's
definitely some
definable
brain
as serial.
suckage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I like to think it's
brain suckage.
Yeah.
So I think okay,
We'll
that's one
talk about it.
We're gonna
We'll
get
talk
to that.
about
We're
it,
gonna
yes.
get to that. We're gonna get to that.
I just wanted to come out ahead and say my theory. But so that is possible in these books. That's very, very violent for children's books. And it feels like the books allow that when it's not the kids doing it. Then it becomes Looney Tunes and Jake can smash someone with a rhino horn and they're just, oh, he won't be able to walk again. Like somehow it pivots between those two extremes. And I want to say I don't get it, but I do get it. Like I feel like it actually tracks in the books.
The only reason it doesn't work is because much like, spoiler alert, when Jake's mom says he doesn't, at the end of the book, that he doesn't have the value, like the power of experience to say like this hasn't happened for her, it's like some stuff just like you're reading a children's book and you're getting the cartoon. Like Eddie asked me to watch this movie the other day. It's a great movie, Raising Arizona. And I was sick at the time. So I wasn't in like I was like, everything about the movie that was mean was like extra loud to me. And yet if you view it as a cartoon, if you have a sense of humor, as I do not, like it's a very funny movie and it's very silly. But so that happens here where I'm like flipping the page and I'm like, oh my God, this is so zany. Marco's fucking killing it, like blah, blah, blah. And like no one's going to get hurt. And then you get to the end and you're reading it and it's as scary as like any book I've ever read.
Very real. I just want to say, I think they make it clear the dogs get away.
Yes, I agree.
We hear the dogs running away. Like there's a doesthedog.com.
Miranda,
no, we hear them whimpering.
Wake up.
But he says the doggies are hauling doggy butt. They're running away.
Miranda, I didn't realize you had a sheeplemorph.
No, okay? Come on. No, the dogs get away because hurting dogs would be going too far. He says, the doggies are hauling doggy butt.
So I think after they had to haul Jake guts to the bathroom of the airplane, I think we have to interpret this that the dogs are literally hauling their butts. They're dragging
their butts are detached.
Yes.
But they're still
they're
alive.
dragging with their mouth.
They're going somewhere else to die. No, I'm just kidding.
No, the dogs
it's like Donnie Darko, where the dog comes under under the porch because you'll just want to die alone.
The dogs are fine.
What a silly movie.
When I bring up them burning down the pervert's house, though, no one remembers.
I do remember that. What are you talking about?
No, it was
Patrick
just in an
Swayze's
episode
character.
we just did. Yes.
I brought that up and you were both like, what are you talking?
Scene. I don't remember the dog scene either. I just
You don't remember Sparkle Motion?
I apparently don't remember anything about Donnie Darko.
You saw Donnie Darko too.
Yeah, it's basically a Tears for Fears music video. Let's move on.
All I can remember is that Jake Gyllenhaal's feet were cut to hell because they made him actually ride that bike barefoot. So when he limps getting off the bike in the opening scene, it's because they made him shoot it several times.
Wow.
And he actually had to bike up and down that hill every time, so his feet are like
stupid.
Destroyed. That's the only thing I remember about Donnie Darko.
Wow. Did you watch the director's commentary or something?
No, I think someone
Probably
just told me that.
Circulated on the internet, or something.
It might not even be true.
Should we just jump into chapter 21?
I can take it.
All right, Miranda's got it. Go.
Chapter 21. The gang has infiltrated Joe Bob's mansion. They smash the place to pieces as they search for Rachel and Axe. Tobias, Cassie, and Marco scouting as birds, while Jake blasts through doors as Rhino. The house is enormous. No matter how many rooms they destroy, there are no signs of Rachel and Axe. Marco suggests that they look for a door that's well guarded. Tobias decides to look upstairs and quickly shouts for the others to follow him. 2 guards are there, and they've begun firing at him. With guns!
Ow!
More guards find Jake, Marco, and Cassie shooting at them as well. Jake manages to knock them out, but he's badly injured in the process. He tries to climb the stairs towards Tobias, but they're wooden, and they begin to give out when he steps onto them. Jake instructs Cassie and Marco to morph into something else to provide more firepower to help Tobias while he demorphs to climb the stairs. As Jake becomes human again, he tries to thought speak with Axe and Rachel. Axe answers, but he's very groggy. Jake tells him to demorph while he still can. He worries that Axe is about to demorph in front of controllers, that Tobias might get shot to death upstairs, that Rachel may already be dead. Jake struggles to climb the stairs, no longer a rhino, but not quite human yet. He wonders if he's led the Animorphs to their deaths.
It's a light book.
It's a kid's series.
Yeah, remember when Jake whacked that guy with his rhino horn and hurt his butt? That was so funny.
Mere moments ago.
That guy, right? Like off that guy.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Whack a guy? Whack off a guy?
Whack a guy,
off a guy, whack off a guy.
Because I'm married.
Is that Family Guy?
Yeah, it's a great line.
I think we've done it before.
I like the line, "They used me to open doors," and I think it should be the title of Jake's memoir. Because it's got so many, he's a rhino and they're searching the rooms, and when they need to open a door, they're just like, "Hey, can you bust this shit down?" So Marco's like, "Open this door," and he's like, "Fine, I guess I'm a fucking door opener." But
and then Cassie's like, "We shouldn't be wrecking the place." "Oh, Jake, actually, could you please open this door too?" Like
Cassie, I am frustrated.
Her motives are very strange.
I
in this book.
respect Cassie's position in this book, and I support her, and I know she's conflicted, and I'm also finding it. It's frustrating. I'm frustrated because everyone's making decisions they're unhappy about. Yeah, and I think she's both being weird, like perfectly fair. She supported Jake in the fly morph thing. Yeah, but then we'll see. We'll get to it in a bit.
She does also say the reason she's concerned is, if he turns out not to be a controller after this, we did just wreck some innocent dude's house.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. But what I mean...
Well, we can stop on that... Oh, go finish your
I want to talk about Jake's memoir, which is They Used Me to Open Doors, just because it's so obvious that they're riding on his coattails. Yeah. And that they want him to make these decisions. And they're just going to ditch his ass when they finally get on reality TV like they wanted this whole time. So I love that for Jake. I'm imagining him when he's 50, not as famous as he should be. And Marco's on Letterman, permanently, he's hosting the Tonight Show or whatever, or whichever show it is. And Jake releases this memoir called They Used Me to Open Doors.
It does have a little bit of the vibe of, what is it? I heard you paint houses or something like that. The book that became The Irishman. Oh yeah, it is. It's called I Heard You Paint Houses, and paint houses is how the mob would refer to killing people, I think.
Yes. It has this it has this coded feel to it.
Yeah, it also has this I don't know, tales from the ladder's rung. You know what I mean? Tales from a rung on the ladder. He's they just stepped on me to get higher.
Yeah. Which is Jake's fate, I think. They're gonna run his trauma bill into the ground and then abandon him. Because
Marco is doing that in this book.
Absolutely. Cassie's this freaks me out. Could you do it for me?
Yeah. Can you kill the spider? Yeah, there's a good line in here when he's talking about, worrying about Tobias being up there being shot at, and he gets a line that says, as long as they were still shooting, it meant Tobias wasn't dead yet, saying he reacted positively to the sounds of gunshots. And I'm like, this is a whole vibe for the Animorphs. It's oh yes, as long as I hear the sounds of battle, it means we haven't lost yet. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love that line. It's so sad to think about him rethinking that context and being now that I am in and of this war machine, it's good that they're still shooting at Tobias because otherwise he'd be dead. Are you kidding me? That's so dramatic.
The only other thing I wanted to point to was Rachel being unconscious and unable to demorph. Is kind of directly a callback to her near death in book 11 when he had to rip the flesh off her to get the colonies of ants to go to war so that they wouldn't eat her. Because she was unconscious and unable to just morph out in that instance, and it was going to kill her. And we're in a very similar, so in that book 11 laid the groundwork for everything that's happening here. Some of it was more sort of directly, literally lane than other.
What are the odds that she fell on a pile of man-eating ants, and that there was the other species of man-eating ants right next to it? Like, what are the...
Well, was it a species or was it just a different colony? I think it was the same species,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
She also, her falling asleep, being unconscious, was a major part of Megamorphs. That's how... Yeah. Like, why is she so sleepy? That's her character flaw right
now.
In
Megamorphs, in fairness, she flew into a tree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. After being attacked by
In this
crows?
one, she got tased.
Yeah.
And then in book 11, she gets shot? I don't remember. She's fighting Yeerk.
Yeah, busy. She's busy, Ed.
Yeah.
She's tired because she's busy.
Busy girls are sleepy.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably
That's why they
also...
eat girl dinner.
Yes, girl dinner.
I feel like also there's got to be something that, like, it creates drama when you take you put your most powerful person out of commission. Like, she's true. Kind of their tank, and like they're smashing up a house and they don't have their tank. So
that's true.
They don't have the elephant or the bear.
And I do think Miranda's point's right that it is the echo of the stakes as well.
Yeah.
Like I do think.
Yeah. So I think they can at least share some of the blame here with the guards who are opening fire at the walls and ceiling of this house. Like, if they do destroy this house.
That's true.
Yeah, it's sort of like how, like, if a host puts their feet up on the coffee table, you feel like you're okay to do it. You can do it,
yeah.
Yeah. But it does have, like, what do we call it, a wreck-it room? We've talked about wreck-it rooms before, and this is the ultimate wreck-it room.
Yeah. Especially, knowing it belongs to a billionaire just feels extra good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really true. It's like,
Like, if you gave me a bat and told me to go to town on Elon Musk's house, that'd be like a dream.
I'd be like, you only got me a bat?
But it feels like it should have caught fire here. In an action movie, it would have caught fire at some point. Right?
They would have had to trip something electrical.
There's a lot of smashing
knocking over
on.
Lamps and stuff. It could have happened.
In Grand Theft Auto, if you hit a car, it blows up. So.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Well,
that's right. That's how.
So it's called
works.
An internal combustion engine for a reason. There's already combustion taking place in a car.
But also, if you think about it, steam engines are kind of like external combustion engines. In that they have, like, fire. Anyway, the point is, chapter 22.
Chapter 22.
Okay, I got this one. It's in Comic Sans already for me. Thank you.
They all are.
That's true, just in case.
Jake has just in case Chris should read any of these. Jake has reached oh my God. Sorry, I have a joke for after this. No, it's a joke for now. It's like the idea that you could hide information from me from putting in a font other than Comic Sans. And it's like, why didn't Chris see that? It was right on the letter that Eddie wrote that.
Eddie, don't change it. That's mean.
So mean. Jake has reached the top of the stairs. I got it. Okay, cool. Jake has reached the top of the stairs and is human again. Not Dancer. As he finished morphing, a bullet had emerged from the flesh of his shoulder, forced out from where it had embedded within him when he was still a rhino. Wild phrasing, Ed. Yeah. Okay. Cassie and Marco reach the top of the stairs behind Jake. Tobias flies over, letting the others know that the guarded room is close by, just down the hallway and through the massive bedroom, NPC style. Marco asks Jake what they should do next. Jake says they almost punched Marco when he asked that because he was so sick of people saying shit like that to him and being like, why are you Mr. Boss Man? Eddie, wild voice usage in this paragraph. Instead, he tells everyone to go into battle morphs. He'll go tiger, Marco gorilla, Cassie wolf. Oh, man. But they don't end up fighting the two guards after all. Jake Thought speaks to the men, telling them even if they manage to shoot him, they won't be able to kill him before he takes them down. The guards say that they're not getting paid enough to talk to animals and flee. Wow, I've never read a drier... Like, sometimes when you write these, sometimes when you write these, you put a lot of pizzazz in it. This is like a Wikipedia summary. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can tell you did not like this chapter.
Scenes.
I know, yeah.
Well, with the action scenes, it's important to just list what happens sometimes because you gotta be clear.
I missed one line. Jake, Marco, and Cassie enter the room that the two men were guarding. The end.
Jake's body spitting out the bullet.
Oh, yeah. So, like, when he morphs back to human, a big hunk of lead just comes out of, what's his name? Jethro? Jake. Comes out of
Jethro?
Jake.
I wish it was Jethro.
It's Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
He is built like a brick. Wait, that's not what the song is. Thick as a brick. That's it. He's thick as a brick. His skin is built like, yes. No, as a rhino, he's thick as a brick, though. It all works. It all works. He says it's just good luck that his body happens to spit out the bullet.
Yeah.
And, like, it seems to be implied to me. So we're looking at last book.
Right. Book. Yeah.
We had people.
15.
When
15.
they were sharks in morph, they had
We had
a
morphing
metal
to something
object.
smaller means that it'll stay stuck in your body. But this book, we get morphing something smaller and it gets spit out of your body. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's there. A foreign object was put into the shark's cranium and they morphed back to human, and that metal object persisted. So now that's a rule that we have to follow here as well. So this bullet coming out of them is somewhat canonical now, because in the last book they had these like remote control chips in their brain. And,
right.
Yeah. So now we're kind of like backed into this corner where foreign matter has to persist if inside you. It doesn't just get whisked away to Z.
But we get but it's a coin flip whether or not it's going to be important or matter. It just matters based on the plot. Like, it's like, oh, we didn't want to deal with there being a bullet in Jake, so this time it didn't happen. It's a coin flip
whether the matter matters is what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. In matters of mattering, I would say.
In matters of mattering, quibble at the quarry. Quibble about the query at the quarry.
I will also say that I had talked about, so like way back when book 1, Jake morphs a lizard, eats a spider, gets upset about it. We talked about would he be hungry when he morphed back? And this seems to follow the theory that the size of the object like totally remains the same. So you couldn't like morph a lizard, eat enough for a lizard, morph back to human and be full. You would still have that lizard in your body, but it would be.
This is all based out of the piss going with. We're still. It's like. It's weird. It's weird.
Also worth
it's
noting.
Weird.
Worth noting, the chips were in their brain, and in order for Visser 3 to never get ejected, something in your brain has to always stay put.
Yeah.
I know he's like a liquid and not a solid, and that they like totally mesh into your brain or whatever. But
a living
like
blanket.
The idea that you can change the shape and size of your brain. But crucially, they've talked about this idea that like house cats are too small to be a viable morph, and like size of the head seems to be important and all that. And we've never seen Visser 3 morph anything small.
But why
would he?
I guess because I'm asking that question because Visser 3 always morphs something monstrous and scary. Like, I don't even think he's ever morphed something from Earth. Is that right?
He morphed a human.
That's true. Yep.
But
which we learned this book is not an animal.
Yes.
According to Rich.
He's usually pretty threatening. He's trying to be threatening. So, like, why would he have small morphs? But, like,
right.
Poison dart frog, super useful morph. Kill everybody.
No, it's very true. Visser 3 could benefit greatly from morphing small morphs, actually.
Could you safely acquire a poison dart frog? I guess you'd have to have the anti-venom or antitoxin or whatever available so you would not die.
Or maybe you just morph it right away.
Yeah, and you heal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What happens?
It's not like it kills you within 10 seconds. I think it paralyzes you though. Their poison. I don't know if you could.
I don't know. Here's what I'll say. I'm ready to talk about the stand down with the guards. Can we get into this? Can we talk about this?
We can talk about this. Chris and I, some stuff went down in the notes.
Yeah, some stuff went down in the notes. It may have spilled over into our chat. I almost rage tweeted your text to me. But
I missed this entirely.
Yeah, because I almost said something really mean.
Were you going to say you're not a real nerd?
Yeah.
Why? What was
you don't play D&D.
Because
I do, but I never keep track of movements. So.
Yeah.
It shows, Eddie.
Some of us just winter in Faerun. Some of us don't really live there.
Look, I looked up the actual stats on a tiger. Chris pulled out the monster manuals. So, like, we're different people.
That's true. So anyway, the point is in D&D 5, so Jake has this scenario. He's talking to these two old-timey wise guys sort of guards, and he's like, okay, we're in this stand down with two armed guards. They could just shoot us. We'll probably live, but I don't want to go limping into this next battle. If I can convince them not to fight me, that would be better for me now. So Jake starts parlaying and trying to further his agenda. So he says, why are you so hell-bent on this? Like, yeah, you may shoot me, but odds are I'm going to kill you either way. You should just let me through. It's better for you. You're not getting paid enough. There's enough evidence that you did enough shooties to, like, get your pay. Just get out of my way. You don't need to
leave.
And he uses this argument that, and I don't think he says this aloud, but he's doing the mental math. And he's like, I can cover 30 feet in 2 seconds. And here's the thing. So his premise is he can cover 30 feet in 2 seconds and then attack, like before the bullets would harm him, ensuring the guard's death. In D&D 5e, if you look up the Tiger, they have a base movement speed of 40, right? Which is faster than
40 feet per round. Which is faster than normal height creatures.
Oh, wait, did I just get this wrong? I just got this wrong.
Did you? Normal height creatures have a speed of 30.
I just got this wrong because humans move 30 feet. So they are faster. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so dumb. God, wait.
Now who's
Well, but your point,
seconds. It's 40 feet.
But they're still using 40 feet per round, which is 6 seconds.
I thought about this.
Your argument still stands.
It does, but I made some incorrect... I wasn't
Randy, don't protect
clearly.
Chris.
No, it's nice of you to try and save your stupid older sibling. It's nice of you to try, but
I pointed out that canonically to D&D, but in the real world, tigers can leap roughly 9 to 10 meters.
I just got this wrong.
Which I was like, as an acrobatics check, like you could take it at, like you could do an action of leaping, and you could clear that with your DM to like clear the space in almost no time. I then also pointed out in the real world, tigers move 30 to 40 miles per hour in short bursts, which 40 miles per hour is like, I looked it up and it's like 12 feet per second.
I'm going to write a small dissertation on how wrong I got this someday.
It's like 12 feet per second. And so like, rounded up, it's more than enough.
You know what it was? So I figured it out. 30 feet in 2 seconds is where I got tripped up because my brain multiplied 30 feet times 3 to get the total movement speed of 6 seconds, right? Mm. So, like, I think...
You forgot about the dash action, which is what I brought up.
But what I was thinking was, like, a tiger can't move 30 feet in 2 seconds, and yet it's like in a single round, though it could. So in D&D, it's like experientially, it's the same. So it's kind of like...
Well, like, yeah, as I pointed out, so in D&D, your base movement is your base movement, and then you can take an action. But if you instead don't take an action, you can use that to dash and cover twice your movement speed in a single round, which would put the tiger at 80 feet in 6 seconds.
That's closer to the 90 that's suggested by this. But then that's the thing. Jake's going to have to wait a whole turn for an attack. And I know, and he probably has 2 attacks with each paw, probably. I didn't look.
He's a tiger monk. He's a tabaxi monk, actually.
Okay.
So he can punch as a free action.
Okay, you know what?
It's fine.
And I think it really does come down to...
How did you move? Did you do that? What just happened? Did that happen for anybody else?
And he just raised his hand, so I'm going to remove him from the call because that's an aggressive anti-nerd action that is now happening. What would you like to say, young Edwin?
No, I just wanted to remind us that we were trying to save some time.
We did save some time. We're on track.
Did. We're still ahead.
Yeah.
We're still ahead. And that's really all we have to... Jake the Tiger agrees with them that they're not getting paid enough, and I believe that Jake the Tiger is going to...
According to the guard.
Mr. Tiger.
It's called content, Edwin. Have you heard of it? Mr. Tiger sounds like a rival for Mr. Beast. It's like
I think Jake the Tiger is going to be the new mascot for the Proletariat Uprising, and he's going to be with Jorts the cat. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Wow. Do we want to go to chapter 23?
Yes. Yeah. So it's back to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, Marco, and Cassie find themselves in a strange dark room that looks more like an alien planet than the mansion that they were in just a moment ago. Rather than a ceiling, what looks like a green sky strewn with lightning is over their heads. And is that soil beneath their feet with alien vegetation growing out of it? In the center of the room is a large pond filled with what looks like molten lead. 2 cages are beside the pond, one holding Axe and the other Rachel. Axe is frozen in place midway between Harrier morph and his Andalite form, almost like his morph was interrupted. Rachel is still in her bald eagle form. Neither are moving, and Jake fears that his cousin and his friend are both dead. Beside the cages is Bob Fenestre, armed with the Draken beam that he has aimed at Axe. Jake realizes that he must be a controller after all. Fenestre begins to address the Animorphs, saying that he's surprised that in the end it wasn't the Yeerks that came to kill him, but the Andalites. That's good, at least. Fenestre still believes that the Animorphs are Andalites. But who is Fenestre aligned with then? He tells Jake that he has no interest in killing Andalites anymore. Fenestre explains that Axe and Rachel are not dead, but in biostasis, and that unlike most controllers, he and his host are in a partnership. He made his host wealthy beyond his dreams, and in exchange, he gets to infest Bob. Fenestre asks if his brother sent the Animorphs after him. Jake, Cassie, and Marco are confused, and so Fenestre reveals his backstory. He is Esplin 9466, the double six indicating that he is a twin. Two Yeerks born from the same grub. And in Yeerk society, for every pair of twins, one is declared the prime and one the lesser. One is given everything, the best host, the best assignments, and the other only what they can take for themselves. Fenestre's Yeerk is the lesser, and while he explains that some twins in Yeerk society share or become allies, his twin just went mad with power! He assigned Esplin 9466 to a low-level programmer at a telephone company. And then Esplin 9466 turned Fenestre into who he is now. A rich man, the founder of Web Across America. He should have been invaluable to the Yeerk invasion. But instead his brother declared him a traitor. And who is his brother? None other than Visser 3!
P!
Whoa!
It's Visser Piss! It's Piss the
Kino,
Visser!
dude, this is peak. This is peak.
Wow.
I just realized what is his name? Esplin 9466. He is a self-made Yeerk man controller.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a self-made
pulled himself up by his
billionaire.
bootstraps. Billionaire.
Yeerkinaire.
Yeerkinaire!
I like this. I don't know. When he's like, one is the prime and one is the lesser, one gets all these fancy assignments. I'm like, do they just assume that? First of all, they make this designation based on what? We have no idea.
We're not told
and
if one's first.
Is it lucky if you're a twin? Is that why you get good things if you happen to be a twin? But I guess Visser 3 is kind of self-made. Like, we did see him get, like, he was not that high-ranking when we met him in the Andalite Chronicles, so I guess he was just given better assignments. Yeah. He wasn't given, he wasn't immediately made a Visser just for being a twin. But it's still, the vibes are weird.
Wait. And also, if I remember correctly, okay, 2 things. One, I think that being put in a programmer of any level, now I know this was the 90s, is better than being made an assistant vice principal of a middle school. Right?
So, was he a programmer, or did he just work at a telephone?
They said explicitly, I think he was a programmer.
Low-level programmer. Now, and here's the other thing.
But Eddie's right. That would be a better paying job than...
I think this doesn't track. Because not Esplin, what's Visser 3's Yeerk?
Well, he would be Esplin 9466 as well.
Right, okay.
Are you talking about Visser's old names?
We
have never been given Visser 3's Yeerk name, I don't think.
No, we knew him at Sub Visser 7.
Am I wrong that he also stumbled upon Alarin? Right?
Yeah, it was just kind of dumb luck.
He wasn't assigned anything, right? Is that?
But he was already a sub-visser at that point,
I see, okay.
Which is a pretty high rank.
Which,
it's
also true that he did move of his own initiative, though. Like, he did not check in with higher ups. He was like, no, this is my moment to shine. That's a really good point.
Yeah, he was dissatisfied with his placement, so...
Do you guys think that this would be like a fun bedroom for a slumber party? Like, you're having your friends over.
The Yeerk homeworld bedroom?
Yeah, the Yeerk homeroom. You got like a weird pool full of Yeerk lube. You're like
and slide. That's what you use the Yeerk lube for.
Slip and slide.
Oh my God, Yeerks would be so good at slip and slide. They would be.
You just like, oh my God, you just like, you do this.
I don't know that they don't have that much mass.
You just mash your hands together and they just squirt out. They just skeet right out.
They just skeet right out.
Sorry, I'm realizing that that's not going to be in the episode probably. Anyway, so I just did a call back to something that wasn't on the episode.
You still get to say skeet, though, and we want to keep that on the recording.
It means eject. Get your mind out of the gutter. Anyway.
The room does... Did you ever go to the Please Touch Museum growing up? Not Please Touch Museum.
Been.
No, I have not.
You didn't even go there? Okay. Well, I was thinking Port Discovery in Baltimore.
Rude.
Sorry.
Fucking rude.
Jesus. Apparently we had a terrible childhood.
I've been trying
Oh my God, you guys didn't even go there? You didn't have a house in the Hamptons?
I have a friend who met Usher at the Please Touch Museum.
Really? What was he doing?
Well, Usher,
Did she get to touch him?
There. I don't know. That's a good question.
But is the sky... What is happening with the sky here? Like, did he...
There's lightning going on.
I think it's like, have you ever left your humidifier on overnight and then you wake up in the middle of the night and there's just a fucking cloud up there and lightning? It's like that.
No, that sounds cool.
It's not a thing that can happen. Yeah. It's just...
No, I think this is probably like a projection. I would imagine it's similar to like, you remember how the Chi had like their little hologram world they lived in where they frolicked?
Oh, so it's sort of
under
just,
trees
it's just mood
stuff.
lighting. It's like a hue bulb you can set to cloud and lightning.
Yeah, it's basically a copy-paste description of Visser 3's or then sub-Visser 7's portion of the mixed world in Andalite Chronicles.
Right.
No.
But we don't have any flesh wheels, which I think is a real legend.
Dude, I am still mad about the flesh wheels.
Wheels of flesh.
People are like...
I need to know about these flesh bearings. I need to know about the flesh axle.
So many friends of mine skipped the Andalite Chronicles because it was 17 episodes long. And I said, I tried to be charitable about it and say that's okay. But I also think if you made it to episode 14 and heard about the fucking flesh wheels, your life was never the same. It was all worth it.
Is there any chance that what Esplin 9466 was doing is just putting those glowing stars on his ceiling?
Oh, nice. That's so 90s. Yeah. That is what it is.
Okay,
I have to cut in with a little bit of nerd rage, and I'm going to try and keep it succinct. I hate the 6 system.
Yeah.
I abhor it, and I will keep this concise, but it just does not disambiguate to me like it's so short-sighted, because what if there was some like, IVF style, we had 10,000 Yeerks to a single spawning, and suddenly there is a frickin' 9466 that just happened that was a single birth, and suddenly you have three creatures all then what is Visser's? Is Visser's what where's the disambiguation?
No, his is the same. He's also Esplin 9466, the greater, I guess, the prime.
Man.
But here's my thing. If they had done it differently, right? When we met in his 226, that's only 3 numbers.
226, right.
So we're getting a whole extra digit.
Right. Which is a power of 10. It's a magnitude. In theory, we could have done something, we could have added another digit, or we could have done what I think would have been better, but would have broken the system of numbering them in order. If you give them a 0 and then another number after for how many are in that pod. Okay.
Or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like,
so
I'm Esplin 994 or 9403, and that's because there were 3 of us.
I see what you're saying. But I think also so we're learning something, right? It's like they have a name, which is probably the brood that they came from, and then a number, which is where they are in that brood.
Right.
In some worlds...
The name is the spawn pool, actually. I think there are multiple broods per spawn pool. You're just named for the pool you're born in, and then the numbers just keep getting higher.
Okay, spawn pool is no different than a Yeerk pool, right?
We don't know.
Well, it's a Yeerk pool where they spawn, I assume.
Where they cavort.
So it's your spawn
pool.
No,
they're always cavorting.
Yeah, and I will let this rest, but what I am saying is if I was at my job and someone pitched this numbering system, I would have a conniption. I would would be yelling. I would be
but we don't know how rare double developments are. You said they develop from a single grub. Is that what it says? That doesn't feel like it makes any sense.
It does not make sense. A grub freaking...
Do they split?
So I just learned...
Is it like a worm where you cut them in half and they just turn into two worms, which isn't even true?
I just learned with caterpillars and butterflies that when they're in the chrysalis, literally all of their form factor, except for their brain and parts of their nervous system, gets turned into a literal fucking liquid.
Yeah.
So maybe... So
there could be a stage where there's enough... So they go into their cocoon and they come out two people.
That's what it's sounding like. There were just two little brains in there all along. I had a brain in my butt, and then that turned into my sibling.
No, my butt brain.
I have good news for you, Chris. You are Yeerked, and you can actually take this to your superiors.
Oh, you better believe true. I wrote my congressperson.
The Council of 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is gonna get a nasty letter about
going all the way to the Council of 13.
Just like Mr. Rogers
whichever one's
in front
the
of
emperor.
Right.
Supreme
you get one
Court, yeah.
Hey, 1 in 13 shot, I get to yell directly at the emperor. I'll take those odds.
Right.
Yeah. That's not that bad. I've had worse odds. Never tell me the odds. All right, back to the book.
So back to the story. Visser III, he declared him a traitor, declared him an enemy, and cut him off from the Kandrona. So, that's a big thing here. He was like, don't feed my brother, which seems weird.
Yeah.
It's like, rather than let my brother achieve anything, I will starve him to death.
Yes.
And, I get that mood. When I was 3, I feel like I had feelings like that, where it was like, Mom, do we have to feed Chris?
Chris is bigger than me already.
Need more food.
Exactly. It's also worth pointing out that, what is it, Epsilon? What's his silly name?
Esplin.
Okay. Esplin 9466. It's worth mentioning that he has a flair for the dramatic. He is
it runs in the family.
Chewing the scenery.
The scenery that he painstakingly designed himself.
He's having his first little murder mystery dinner party, and he's like, I've been performing in secret for so long.
Well, that's why he's so ready to share his backstory. So Visser III came to Earth. They both came to Earth. Visser III has the whole planet as his stage. He's constantly outside, just broadcasting, demanding that people listen to him. And his twin has not had anyone to entertain. The guards just don't satisfy him anymore. No. He's had them in his little chamber. They don't even appreciate the lightning.
Oh, yeah. If Jake had turned around, he would have seen little risers with chairs so that they could have 30 of these men watch the performance in the one-man show he does every night.
Yeah. Well, he can tell that when other people come into this room, they just see a Yeerk pool, but Jake sees molten lead. He has...
Well, I don't think it is a Yeerk pool. I think it's lube. Just lube.
It's an imitation.
It is actually later named a Yeerk pool by Fenestre. What do you think? What do you think Fenestre's one person
He has no one to conform it with!
What would you say his one-person show would be called? Like, would it be Out the Window with Fenestre?
Or that's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, or something like that.
Fiesta de Fenestre.
Oh!
Okay, I like that.
That's really fun.
I think Out the Window is a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah,
but it would be sophisticated if that was
Taco Tuesday for him.
Yeah, he had to make it something Joe Bob understood.
Yeah.
So, they say that they're partners, and after this whole Omar reveal with Jeremy Ward, I'm like,
oh my God.
I really think that Fenestre and Esplin are what if they're the first, human Yeerk lovers?
Well, I mean, what does it mean to be a lover with your host, right? I mean, you're there every time you're in. You know what I mean? And for people with penises, especially, sometimes that does its own thing on its own. Do controllers dream? That's a good question. What?
I like how you went from the penis to the dreaming, as if that was
Yeah, so you're saying could a Yeerk make a nice little wet dream for their controller?
Well, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So like morning wood is a thing, and so that's why my brain got thinking about it. But that actually has to do more with like pressure on your bladder, doesn't it?
I don't know either.
The parasympathetic nervous system is its own John. I try to work with it on a daily basis.
And what you're describing,
I get a boner. No,
is what you're describing with the Yeerk inside or outside the head.
The penis, the head of the
inside.
penis, is the Yeerk. Now, does the Yeerk?
Yeerk sounding.
Yeerk sounds.
There is another entrance. Okay, so.
The Yeerk's gonna go through your bloodstream, then your like kidneys or whatever. That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, we should not continue this line of thought.
All I do is Yeerk. All I do is Yeerk.
Do we want to talk about biostasis at all?
Oh, biostasis. Yeah. So they think they're dead, and Jake's like, you killed them. And he's like, you bitches don't even know what biostasis is? Aren't andalites supposed to be sophisticated? And he's like, haha, yeah, no, I was just, what? He like pivots.
Yeah,
he like totally
he's like, you should
about
recognize this technology. And Jake actually, like, he's so sloppy in this initial thing, because he like both of them, Fenestre and Jake, are really sloppy, but he says like, can I have my friends back? Fenestre says, sure, whatever. Yeah, take them. Just, whatever. You're going to kill me either way. And then Jake says, my friends sure look dead. And then it's like, that's so rude. Like, literally, this guy gave you your friends back. And it's like looking a dead gift horse in the mouth. It's just not polite. Like,
this Rachel is no more.
Has ceased
it is
to
an
be.
ex-Rachel.
It is an ex-Rachel.
What was Fenestre's plan before the rest of them showed up? And why was he pointing the Draken beam at Axe, who seems to be like mid-morph?
My theory on this is that they were both passed out in the cages. Axe started to, or he thought passed out in the cages. Axe started to demorph, and he went, oh, they're awake, and I haven't prepared a speech. And so he paused them.
Yes. And that's amazing. He's like, I need more time. He's like sitting with the pen. He sees Axe like getting up and like getting ready to strike him, and he just reaches over and hits the biofreeze button.
That's actually why he was so ready to explain his backstory, was that he's been planning this reveal.
Yeah. That's
a captive audience.
That's now my canon. Yeah.
But the gun pointed at an Axe. I didn't understand.
I think he was considering whether or not he needed to kill them.
I see.
Like, they're not useful to him, so he was probably going to kill them after he like. And
he goes on. He goes on to say that he initially thought that the Andalites were confused and attacking him because he's not allied with the Yeerks. But
he thought.
So when he saw Axe, he said, "Why are the Andalites attacking me?" He thinks that they're Andalite bandits, but he doesn't have that fresh off the presses flyer that Visser 3's been circulating on the Yeerk mothership or whatever that says, watch out for birds. Like,
wear a helmet.
He realizes
wear a helmet.
He gets very
wear glasses to prevent hawk attacks to your eyes.
He's very amused that they actually thought there might be a human resistance and that's why they came. He's like, oh my God, that's so cute. Oh, look at you. Yeah. You thought you had friends.
The complexity of this chapter is pretty deep. Like, there's a lot of like chess playing between Fenestre and Jake is like talking about it in zero-sum game terms, where he's like trying to like figure out how to not reveal information. And then Cassie and him have this like back and forth privately where they're like, it seems like we have the upper hand here, so let's try and get as much information as we can out of him.
Yeah.
And they play it pretty damn well, considering I actually really liked this scene.
Yeah. I have one last question. Why include that this man painted his bedroom to look like his home planet? Is it just to show he's homesick and lonely?
Yeah, I think to show he's homesick.
But it's a lot of
He's totally cut off. He's totally cut off from all the Yeerks. It's not like he even gets to talk.
Well, not totally.
As we'll see.
If only there was some way for him to absorb his friends
to get a taste of his home life that he misses so much. Yes.
Right. And you know what? I think he might describe something like that in chapter 24.
Okay, with a toothsome grin.
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say. Until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon!